I've always been captivated by the night sky, the incomprehensible scale and drama, dressed up as a procession of gentle, timid lights, traveling the universe as if only to meet me in that quiet, forgotten countryside garden of my grandparents. My summers were enchanted by this. My fears, anxieties, doubts just melted against this cosmic backdrop and gave in to peace and wonder. Glancing at the stars happens less in the city, and it's definitely not something I can do during the working day when I probably need the perspective the most. However, for a while now I had this vision to design a timepiece that would echo some of that celestial magic, beauty and grandeur we're all cruising through together. That plus some extra symbolism encoded within, which I can't wait to show you. This design would push me further than before. It would involve balancing delicate forces, precision fabrication, metal alloys, astronomy, timekeeping. I wasn't sure I'd be able to pull this off, but regardless, it was time to tango with this. Paradoxically, I knew that achieving my goal involved abandoning it first, simplifying everything, breaking the problem, and coming up with a basic but working movement. I played with the magnets and ball to get a feel for the forces involved. Some were too strong, some too weak. I was looking for that just right, which meant a reliable, quasi-magical pull without too much friction. Also, I noticed the deep grooves made the ball jitter in an unpleasant way. Good to know, I thought. Then I looked at the mechanism in detail. A bunch of things had to be designed, and I found it best achieved by creating a digital twin first. It seemed like a good idea. Then it was the hands, mechanism holder, dial, the whole set. Through this, I kept telling myself everything had to be kept bare bones for now. This was the only way. A few prints later, and more tweaks than I'd like to admit, I finally had this on my table. The tolerances and clearances and fitment were just right enough for it to work. I was actually really pleased when I finally saw this stick as intended. This was already an interesting conversation piece, but it was too thick and required manual adjustment to get the mechanism in position. Promising, but it really wasn't ready for prime time. Another few weeks gone by, a few more purchases, and I was ready for round 2. This time with an adjusted mechanism twin. I changed a few things based on what I learned. For example, I changed the hands to give me a fixed, repeatable magnet height now that I knew how many I needed, a precise fixed location for the clock, and a separated dial. I wanted the shell to be in one piece, but the auto-generated supports were horrendous. So for the first time, I made my own custom ones. Horrible, but promising. I also experimented with fuzzy skin for the contour. Not bad, I thought. After some days of testing, I saw a problem with the pull when the spheres are at odds with each other, so I realized my dimensions still could be improved. And for this, I had to cut the model into halves to actually figure out what's happening inside. The joy of working with real components, right? But I was getting really close. Only 2 things between this and a fully actualized beautiful design. But these 2 things are big things. The design of the dial and inscribing it in metal. First, my very own starry night. Even though I'm usually quite geometrically minded, I just could not understand how these star charts actually worked. Then, I finally found the missing link. Astronomers imagine all stars not as they are scattered through space, but painted on an enormous sphere centered on Earth, the celestial sphere. Now it started to make sense. Our task now was just to unwrap the sphere with the right projection. After some more exploration and reading about the history of this task, I set on the postel projection, basically a plane that touches the sphere at one point. Since antiquity, star charts play around this type of projection because it represents naturally the night sky dome. My new friends from the astrophotography community pointed me towards Starplot to generate the vectors I was looking for. All I had to do now was remember how to Python, find the right parameters, and in no time, I had the SVG I was looking for, with some help from Steve, great guy. It may not look like much now, but it was produced to fit exactly with my symbolic requirements. All that remained now was putting this in metal. Fortunately, I had an ace up my sleeve. This Carvera is meant to be super turnkey. Unfortunately, I had to figure out cam to even get to it. I struggled with this in the past, but I recently found Milmage, still in beta, but it was stable and its design really made sense to me. I thought the road ahead was straight, but as if to control my enthusiasm, I drew blood before I even started. These engraving bits cut and one sliced through me when I got it out of its sleeve, so really be careful. But this couldn't really stop me. I sent some code to the machine, I got it to probe, and I was mesmerized instantly, until it had a seizure, over and over again. I had no idea what was wrong, but fake Oregon and pew 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 lasers were super helpful. Turns out Milmage required an M6 for the manual tool change to trigger correctly, and we were in business. And just like that, the spindle came alive with remarkable confidence and started going at it. The bits chew through the aluminum. Get it? Because aluminum proved to be very gummy, but I could probably clean this up. Now for the main course. How about we try to carve out some stars and constellations? My intention was for a V-carve operation into the appropriately sized circles, which would give me a relative depth corresponding to each star's brightness in the night sky. However, this app did not have V-carve implemented at the time, but that just meant I had to get creative. I split the stars into groups by magnitude in Python, then in layers, and I used separate pecking operations with V-bits attached to achieve this result. Wasn't ideal, but a solution is a solution. Once I dialed everything in, it was time to tackle the blank aluminum canvas in front of me. It was lovely. I must have sat in front of the machine watching this for minutes. But at the end, after all of this, I got a cold reality check. I must have messed up something because the engraving was still messy. The cut was beautiful and boy was it accurate, and the metal felt great, but it didn't look right. I was disappointed, and a few days passed before I could come back to this. In the meantime, my brain just wouldn't let this go and continued to iterate on case designs. One cool design after another, I managed to conjure up a unibody structure that was meant to mesh beautifully with the metal dial. But of course, we had to produce the metal dial before any matrimony could occur. Someone on Discord mentioned I should run the cut a second time to clean up the edges. I also wanted some guiding ridges to allow the magnet to get closer and a hidden message that only I knew existed. I got the preview simulation to look right for me, so it was time to cut some brass for the first time. This is Starlight N001, a unique timepiece, a mirror to the vastness around us, a seamless union between space and time, featuring a unibody design topped with a dial carved with care and precision out of metal. The passage of time and cyclicity of existence are marked with a quiet dance of spheres moving effortlessly on the surface as if directed by magic. An enchanting, dramatic, ever-moving spectacle of light, always there for you whenever you need the gentle reminder that there's so much to see, so much to explore, so much to fall in love with. As the spheres make their way around the celestial backdrop, they orbit Polaris, the North Star, a powerful symbol to reorient you towards those higher order meaningful pursuits in your life, no matter where your daily wanderings take you. Starlight N001 works in any orientation and lasts for more than a year with just one standard AA battery. This was a blast. Starlight is by far my longest running project. Honestly, it was painful to push it all in just about 10 minutes of scripts. This dial looks beautiful. Carved on both sides in about 6 hours, 8 operations, 3 tool changes with over 100 meters of cutting, packed within a 95mm diameter. Brass was cleaner to cut, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. For example, I didn't account for the stock not being square, so doing the back of the dial in alignment was tricky, and I needed this to be under 0.4mm of error to get the magnets to track, so that was another lesson. And even after I got it perfectly overlapped with some positioning pins, I was still having some issues with the channels, so I made this into acrylic to figure out what was going on in there and adjust the clock hands accordingly. But as a result, I ended up with a very cool acrylic timepiece as well. This is basically a good proxy for pretty much all creative struggles with this. Every challenge yielded a lot more than just its solution. I learned a lot about the night sky, I spoke with some great people, started to figure out this really cool CNC machine, pushed my designs in CAD further than ever before with this unibody shape, and finally found a cam solution that makes sense to me. To find the ideal form, I went through so many shapes, sizes, forms, content for dial, but the end result is so rewarding. It feels great in the hand, one object, no screws or glue. It's just like a piece of jewelry, to be honest. It has such satisfying weight to it. And I made this, not an engineer or a machinist, just a guy playing with some fun ideas and tools. The metal catches the sun so beautifully, and the very physical movement of the spheres is a joy to witness through the day. And I'm so happy I managed to get the forces just right for a high torque quartz movement, which makes this very precise and low maintenance. It just works. You don't have to run cables into it or recharge it all the time or worry about it. Just a battery change once every couple of years or so. Let me know if you have any suggestions for materials or design combos, as well as if you'd be interested in me pursuing this design a little further in a future video. Maybe even scaling it up, expanding the functionality, or maybe doing some fancy things with the metals like this awesome heat treatment. Since I like how these turned out so much, I have to spread the joy and release this to you. If you'd like to learn more about my design process, the actual files I used, my notes, and some ideas to make this your own, there's the link in the description. Thanks for being here and for your support. Every one of your likes, comments, subscribes means so much to me. Your support really encourages me to keep going, and I do have a lot of ideas I can't wait to share with you. I hope you'll find my work interesting, entertaining, or stimulating, and I hope you'll stick around. See you in the next one.